afternoon, Tampa Bay. It's your friendly Porch Talk Radio team here at you again.
WTMP.
Not being politically correct. We're not going to start the show off that way.
What's your question?
Thank you for listening to this show, because I got an awful lot of calls from last week's show. So I guess you let us know when we've done a good job. Because I get calls after the different shows by different people who regularly call the show, but every now and then we get some folks who don't regularly call the show. So thank you for listening, and hopefully we do as good a job this week as we did last week. And like I say, I know we did a good job because a lot of folks called last week, and a couple of folks who traditionally have not called before called last week. So we're going to thank our sponsors for allowing us to do this for you, for bringing us the show. The Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee, those are primary sponsors who started this adventure and gave us the opportunity to bring this show to you every Saturday. And they started last September when we first started. And again, thank the Hillsborough County Republican Executive Committee. Todd Jones, property appraiser. Todd is one of the folks that came on early in this process too, so we're forever grateful for the folks who have given us this opportunity. Print Fast, John Desbrow. All your printing needs, just call John. Tell him you heard about it on Porch Talk Radio, and give you a couple of dollars here, a couple of dollars off, just because you do what you do. His number for Print Fast, 813-621-9444. All right, now let's get it. We got a lot of things we could talk about, and sometimes it's making the decision of what do we start out with first. So let's talk about what garnered a lot of the conversation from last week's show. And so we're going to do that now, and hopefully the folks who come in later, you can tell them what they missed, because I know sometimes you get together and talk about the show because people keep telling me that. Let's talk about the War Memorial. I didn't say Confederate War Memorial because I had a conversation on Thursday with County Commissioner Les Miller, and there's some muck with an M afoot as to the way the county has done business and has made some decisions. And the issue on the Confederate War Memorial is going to come up again on the 19th. The 19th is next Wednesday. Now, what I need you to do, and this is a community effort. I have had people in the past tell me that 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, folks are working, folks are this and folks are that. Now, let me tell you and be honest with yourself. There's people who work day shift. There's people who work night shift, people who work afternoons. There's people who are unemployed. This is an issue that should be a community issue. This is not about Democrats or Republicans or independents. This is not a political issue on its face. So what I want you to do, and I want this to be a community effort. Now, I know they got some good community folks out there, like my good friend Candy Lowe with Tea and Conversations, which happens on Saturdays. Candy, can you get 10, 15, 20 people to show up? I'm saying this, and I'm talking to people I know are in the community doing stuff anyway. There's the NAACP. Yvette Lewis, you guys just had an election. Can the NAACP get 10, 15 people that commit to you that they're going to show up on the 19th for this community bringing up of this issue that they just voted on a couple of weeks ago. But again, see, that's the thing about stuff like this. It's going to keep coming up until they get it right. It's going to keep coming up because what should happen, I'm going to tell you the dynamics of the way this thing should work is we going to try, and I'm saying real solidly I will make a call and I will get 10 to 15 to 20 people to show up because I'm going to ask them and I'm going to push them and I'm going to put a rope around them in time because sometimes that's what it takes to get us out to look out for our own best interests. But I can tell you that other than the folks who hear my voice on this radio, but I will personally contact and make sure when I show up in that commissioner's chamber on Thursday, on Wednesday, that I got some people with me. And I know if the NAACP show up with 15, 20 people, can they get 15, 20 people? Les Miller, who's behind this effort, and I talked to him and got a solid commitment, and I asked him, I said, Les, is you behind this? He said, yes, I am. Okay, well, Les is behind it, so I know Les is going to get some folks to show up. So I want for 100 black folks, minimum, to be there. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that number. See, normally when I'm working with white groups and conservative groups and other organizations, they have to have red shirts or they have to have blue shirts, because I have done some things in which, folks had their blue shirts on, but then you show up so they know who you with. Black folks don't have that problem. If you show up down there and it's a political issue and 100 of you show up, guess what? They know what you're there for. You ain't got to have no signs. You ain't got to put no shirts on. The fact that you're there. So if we get a couple of stragglers who happen to be at a county commission meeting there, they're going to count them too. But since I go to a bunch of county commissioner meetings, and other than the one that's on the dais is really not many in the audience, so again, they're going to know what you're there for. You don't have to have no sign. You don't have to have no plaques. You ain't got to wave no flags. Just the fact that you got some folks that's going to stand up and talk about something that I think is a community issue. Something else that has happened, I want you guys to understand. It's economics. At the end of the day, it's about dollars and cents and money. Now, the Ye Mystic Crew was 100 years old. The national voice heard the local voice about black folks in this community, and they had a sympathetic ear. Well, guess what? We got a bunch of stuff coming up in the next several years, including a Super Bowl. And I know we got county commissioners who maybe in their heart and soul have that Confederate spirit and have figured that that's a battle that they want to take on. But see, the good thing about battles like that, it'll come on next year, and the following year, and the following year, and the next month. You remember when they wanted to get that casino gambling thing on the ballot? They for 10 years in a row, that was on the ballot, and it kept getting defeated, and kept getting defeated, and kept getting defeated. But them folks, it was in their heart. They knew they could do it. They had the money, they had the time, they had the effort, and they had the patience. They just knew it was going to take a little time. But see, that monument thing ain't going to go away. You got enough black folks in this community, in this county, that's going to stand up and see what's going to happen. It's going to grow. So if we don't get 100 black folks there on the 19th, I guarantee you the next time they come up, we will have 100. Or we have more than 100. And as that crowd grows, so will the anguish of those elected officials that keep saying, oh, it's okay because it's some folks in this community that want to keep the history of a defeated South alive. So I'm just going to say it out there now. And I know I got frat brothers. I'm a member of Alpha Phi for Fraternity Incorporated. I need to get at least 10, 15, 20 frat brothers to show up for this hearing. I'm just saying, because I know you all professional, I know you guys work, but all y'all don't work at this time of day, every day. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying, come show your face. You don't have to sign up to talk. I wish you will, but if you come, because this is about numbers. This is a display of political clout of black folks an issue that is absolutely racial, not political. And what I need to do is help Les Miller make a statement. So if it don't get passed this time, and the vote last time was 4-3, we only need to convert one. And the fact that the Devil Rays have basically made a statement. Everybody's favorite mayor, Bob Buckhorn, has made a statement. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have come on board and made a statement. All these against the memorial, saying that it needs to be removed. Not so much care about where it goes. I mean, give it back to the folks that gave it to you. You see what I'm saying? But this is an issue in this community right now. And as we mount the voices that's against that monument that sit on county property in front of the courthouse, downtown Tampa, I'm going to tell you, it's like water dripping on a mountain. The mountain don't know and don't understand. It don't have a chance. It cannot win. The water wins every time. All right. With that being said, you want to comment on that, Willie, or you want to comment on that, Gabriel?
You know, folks, again, we're just back to trying to get you guys motivated to do something different. You don't like the way things are looking in your city, in your neighborhood, in your community, and yet all you're doing is just sitting around your couch like a couch potato, just griping, complaining. It's on you. That's all we're trying to do is get you motivated, get up out of that chair, get up out of that couch, and go do something to change something in this community for the better. As Eddie's been pointing out, this Confederate situation, we know that people can read, most of you. We know that most of you can go to Google. Most of you got phones that are smarter than the average person. I got one. And you can pull up this information for yourself and read it for yourself and make your own decision for yourself without somebody else having to tell you how to think. And that's all we're trying to do, folks. Get you motivated, get off the couch, get out there. Eddie tells you the times. Eddie tells you how to find out about the information. We want to make you informed. So if you continue sitting around being ignorant, that's on you. But we're doing our best to try and motivate everybody. Get out. Help your community. If not for yourself, for your kids. Because one day, I'm pretty sure most of them are going to have kids. And if you don't like the way things are going now, it's not going to get any better unless you get involved.
All right, now let me throw something else out there. Just so you'll know. The folks who voted to keep the memorial, the Confederate memorial, on county property is Victor Chris, Commissioner Victor Chris, the commissioner from everybody named, as I call him now, Sandy Merman, Ken Hagan, and Stacy White. So if you know, or if you don't know any of these commissioners, get on the phone, email, text, tweet. I mean, you guys got this social media thing worked out. Just send them a blast, or send them a line, or send them something, just to let them know that you are aware and that you feel differently about this issue than they do. All right. Next controversial issue we're going to deal with today. Do anybody keep up, and as I know some people do, some people don't, with what's happening in St. Pete? Well, there's a primary going on in St. Petersburg for some city council seats and a mayoral election. And the way they do the election in St. Pete is not a Democrat-Republican primary. They got 6 folks running for mayor. So whoever get the most votes in the primary get into a runoff in December for the determination of exactly who is the mayor's going to be, whether he's Democrat, Republican, Independent. You know, you got to get through the primary. Well, the primary is on August the 29th. So they've been doing debates and town hall meetings and stuff like that. Now, what separates Hillsborough County from Pinellas County in leadership, pretty much so, is a young man over there who's not afraid to speak truth to power. And again, a lot of people may not like how he do it, but Amali Ishitela is a force to be reckoned with in Pinellas County. The Uhuru movement has been involved. And as you've heard me say before, I worked in downtown St. Pete for 10 years. And everything that happens in Pinellas County, I'm not just saying St. Pete, I'm talking about Pinellas County. You know, they have something to do with it because they're about making sure that black folks are represented by black folks. And that black folks are involved in what happens in their communities, which is not a bad thing to do. Just hopefully we can get some folks in Hillsborough to take up that mantra, which I've been trying to do. And Amali's not elected to anything. Well, let me say, he's not elected to city council, county commissioner. He's not the official dog catcher.
Yeah.
Just saying. But think about this in Pinellas County. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back to when Obama was running for president. The Uhuru, oh man, I'm murdering that. the Uhuru showed up at Obama's event and spoke out at that. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't care. They don't care about the normal boundaries that restrict and confine black folks. Because they are looking at the big picture, and they're looking at the community as a whole. And if they're the only black folks that's standing up and speaking for the people, then that's what they're going to do. And so just so, you guys know, the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. That's
good.
That's who Amali represents, and I consider him to be a friend because he is, as if not most definitely, one of the most intelligent black men I have ever met. And I say black not meaning something white black, but I'm just saying as a down home black folk.
Well spoken.
He's more than well spoken. He's well educated. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. What say you?
Thank you, and I appreciate you keeping the topic alive of the Confederate Memorial and why it needs to be removed from county property. This is all about respect and disrespect. And this is gross disrespect to every person, not only black people, but white people, Hispanics, Native Americans, and everybody else who believes that we all have value as human beings. You know what this reminds me of, as long as that statue remains there? It reminds me of Michael Brown's body lying in the middle of the street for 4 hours after he had been shot dead in Ferguson. That's what this reminds me of. And so we have value as people. And I learned a long time ago from my father, everybody may not like you, but it's your job to make sure they respect you.
That's right.
And that's what this is all about. So, many people say, why are you all spending so much time talking about this monument when we have so many other issues we need to be dealing with in this community? And that's true, we do. But you know what? If the folk in power have no respect for black people, then we're just fooling ourselves if we think we're making any progress. That's it in a nutshell. The other thing I want to say, we've got to be there early Wednesday morning. I'm talking about 7:30 a.m. early. The meeting starts at 9, but, Eddie, you were there last time we had a big crowd down there, and you saw how many people were lined up to speak.
Yes.
I think there are going to be even more people there this time. So we got to be there at 7:30, make sure we're inside the room, sign up to speak, make your presence known, support Les Miller. God knows we have an excellent leader in him, and those other commissioners who voted to remove that monument. Let's get it off county property, city property, and state property.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so very much. I have been there, every time the flag issue had come up. I have been there every time these Confederate monument issues have come up, and I will be there. And again, at the end of the day, I want not only myself and folks who hear me, I want you to tell your friends and bring some of your friends with you, because I went to the NAACP election, which is going to be our next topic that we get on. But I saw a lot of folks in that room who wasn't aware. Now, how you not be aware and be black, again. But let me throw it out there. Go get a couple of your friends and bring them with you, and explain to them, on the way. And when you get there, all they got to do is sit and listen. Because last time, I'm going to tell you, I was embarrassed, because the Confederates came, brought their people, took up the first 3 or 4 rows, had their signs, had their flags, and I'm saying, okay, now that's the difference between the wolf and the rabbit. See, the rabbit is running because he's scared. The wolf is running at the rabbit because he's looking for a meal. So that's why the rabbit usually get away, because his life is involved. Well, I want you to understand, this is a life-changing opportunity here for you, because again, if they get away with it now, because the South is littered with Confederate War memorial, and state by state, black folks are getting the energy, because you got to show up to some of this stuff. You got to make your voice heard at some of this stuff to start battling this stuff. And I think it's going to be a point where the South is actually going to not recover. It's going to officially die, because one of the things they did as a lasting monument to the South was they littered the South with these memorials to make sure that they never die. That we always know that they are right there, thumbprint away from from keeping slavery and the thought and all the stuff that went along with it, alive. So we're gonna abolish it. We're gonna destroy it. You ain't gotta destroy the memorial, but take it and put it where you can worship it properly, not on public property. All right. As I said before, I went to the NAACP elections last week. I kind of gave you the story, because I went before the show, and then I went back after the show. So what you didn't get was I went back after the show. Well, I had got a letter from the NAACP saying that the election was going to be from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. That's why I showed up at 11:30, because I knew I had to come do the show, come talk to you, come interact with the listening audience here, and I know you appreciate it, because I get the calls, the good ones and the bad ones, after the show. Matter of fact, I get people texting me during the show. So I know there's folks out there listening to the show. So they had national representatives from the national NAACP organization. They had the state president of the NAACP organization. So this is just me. I'm not knocking on NAACP, but I'm thinking, since I know they did not start the elections at 11:30, that whatever time passed, and I left, at 11:40, because again, I had to come do the show. I figured when I got back, if I left here at 1 o'clock and dashed down there, I should get there in time to vote. Well, they stopped the voting. This is what I told them. I went there at 1 o'clock. But I was told they stopped the voting at 1 o'clock. But when I got there, it was a long line of folks. Everybody in the line. And I'm talking about a long line outside the door, up to the exterior door for the Sanders Library. And everybody in that line was mad. I got at the end of the line because I didn't want to skip nobody and get beat up. But the folks say, no, go right on in and find this guy by the name of Mr. Ford, and he can help you, because they officially stopped the voting at 1 o'clock. Okay, but Mr. Ford is the national guy, and he can make your world differently, if you say the right things to him and all that kind of stuff. So I went and found Mr. Ford. And Mr. Ford told me that I could not vote, because my membership expired December the 31st. Even though they were supposed to have this election in November of last year, which means I would have been good to vote. So later I found out that they had some folks who had membership expired December 31st who got to vote. And then they had some folks who, if you had not got a new membership since January of this year, you couldn't vote. And then there was life members that I saw in line. One of them being a very upstanding community citizen, and I'm going to call his name, Dr. Walter Smith Sr., because he was there, because this is stuff I'm seeing, so I'm not getting a report, I'm not the reporter trying to tell you what happened, I'm just trying to say, he was there, and he's a life member, and they told him he couldn't vote. And he was extremely upset, and it was a bunch of life members of the NAACP standing in line that this national guy say they couldn't vote. But I think some of them got to vote by not the absentee ballot. They took a provisional ballot. So if at some point in this process they determined that they was officially able to vote, then they would count the ballots. If not, they wasn't. But it was a lot of folks in line, and I'm talking about really good, upstanding people that I know, pillars of this society, pillars of this community, that was being told no, they couldn't vote. So it was a lot of stuff going on. Again, I'm not taking sides about who won, who didn't win, not about the election results. I am here to tell you about the process. And I absolutely, truly expected more, since they had national, state, and local folks here, for it to be a little bit better organized. That's just me. We got a call online. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. This is your host, Eddie Adams. What say you? Hello?
Hey, good morning, Eddie.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Listen, man, I wanted to tell you about a great event that's going on right now in St. Petersburg for economic empowerment. The Tampa St. Pete Region of Chamber of Commerce is involved, and I want to let you talk to the organizer. It's a business conference over downtown St. Pete. Her name is All
right, go ahead.
All right. How you doing today?
Doing excellent. How about yourself?
I am wonderful, and went on to we are having the
You got a really bad connection. You're cutting in and out. If you go ahead and say it again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. So we're having the.
Okay. Go ahead. Give us a little bit more information.
Oh yeah. So like I say, it starts from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. They can come in as a business attendee, got $50, or a general admission and stuff.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in, and hopefully you have a great event. All right. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
All right.
That's nice.
All right. All right. So as we move ahead, I think Willie's doing his own theatric here in the background. So
that's the first time, you know what, and again, I hope they do great. But that was the first time that I think anyone ever, a show has called into another show. Because it seemed like they had a host and guests.
Yeah, you're right.
They had hosts and guests. They had an audience there. It seemed like I was like, damn. I've been doing this for a long time. I've never experienced that where another show would call another show and they sort of glom on and say, okay, I'd like to introduce our guests. What? I hope they have a great event. It troubles me that their event starts in 29 minutes, and they're still asking for businesses. But again, I hope it all works out. I hope it all works out for them. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm just sitting over here not bothering anybody. That was the damnest thing I've ever heard in my life. I think we should come here. On Monday and call the Howard Stern show, and then we should have our own guests and do our own show in the middle of Stern show. We'll get some ratings then. We'll get TMP on the map, and I swear to God we will.
All right, well, let's talk.
We'll call Steve Harvey in the middle of his show.
Well, let's talk about Donald Trump Jr. He's been I have never. Now I'm going to say this, and I'm in all candor. I'm not really trying to be funny, but I've never heard a white man called stupid so many times as I've heard Donald Trump Jr. called stupid this week. I don't know if it affect your IQ value if you have a meeting with the Russian spy, and then I guess everybody found out that he had this meeting with the Russian spy because he sent the tweet out, he sent his email out trying to get in front of the news circuit that was trying to blackmail him and say, well, if you don't do so and so and so, then we're going to let the world know. And so he said, okay, well, let me go ahead and let the world know myself, stick it out there. This again reminds me of the cat with the laser pointer. Yeah, you guys ever see a laser pointer and you just, point it on the wall or on the carpet or whatever, and the cat just follows it wherever it goes? Again, I just think they're playing games. Again, for the media to spend so much time on Junior. You see, I just think, well, they got money, they got issues, and I think they kind of, their life value system is being poorly fulfilled.
Okay, so excuse me. Did you say the Russian lawyer? This has to do with that Russian lawyer, right? Natalia?
Yeah. Good gold honey something.
Yeah.
Honey butter something.
Yeah, she met with Donald Trump Jr. It turns out at the time that she had no visa. It was expired. But did you know that Loretta Lynch gave her special permission?
That's Trump's Attorney General?
No, that was Mr. Obama's.
See?
Lynch.
Wait, I'm just
you're just confused. You didn't want that fake news again.
I'm just making
You're going to have to hit your head on the wall a few times to come back to reality.
Yeah, because they make an assumption everything is Trump. Oh, this was Obama's.
This was Mrs. Lynch gave this lady something about extenuating, extraordinary circumstances to allow her into the country, so they knew who she was. She was a plant for the Democratic Party.
This espionage.
Yeah. Oh no. The Democrats don't do that. No. Okay. Only the Republicans can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So at this point, they gave her special permission. They set this thing up, and now it's like,
okay.
And it's like, oh wait a minute,
we got him now.
I think this is just politics.
We got Junior. We couldn't get the big. We couldn't get the big guy, so let's hang the little.
Mr. Trump's going the Ronald Reagan route, the Teflon right now.
Yeah.
He's doing good on that. Yeah. But I mean, it's amazing how this is a plant from the Democratic Party.
But you got to remember, Trump didn't have a chance of winning. This was like last summer.
That's right. Hillary was going to win by 150%. Right. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Right, yeah, so this is just politics, folks. I don't know why everybody's head's on fire over this deal. Yeah. It's just politics. One side's getting nastier than the other. This is just normal.
I think this is the beginning of something. But, well, I guess we in the middle because it just keeps going on and on and on.
It's normal.
So Willie.
Well, I'm gonna try.
Come on.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Now, I know that there's been some thought.
That's like engineer
from
in the
conservative world
here laughing
about this lawyer who is from Russia. This whole thing has been a setup, but I think that's going. I can't get there because of the time and because how everybody thought that that Trump wouldn't even win the nomination. They thought that he'd get bored in the middle of the primaries and quit. So I can't get to the point where Loretta Lynch let this woman stay in the country because there was going to be some meeting a year from there and she was going to be there. I can't get there. Now where I can get is this. I can get in the kind of primary that was happening in the kind of election that was taking shape in our country at the time, that of course when Donald Trump Jr. got a call that there was some new dirt on Hillary Clinton, he jumped at it. Of course he did. Dirt. Now I'm not, and please listen and don't drive off the road. I'm not excusing him for anything that he shouldn't have done. A lot of people came out and said, well, he was new to the process, blah, 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 all that stuff. I don't care about any of that. But it can't be surprising to an adult who is paying attention that if he gets a call and says, or an email that says, there's some great dirt on Hillary Clinton, and this chick from Russia wants to tell us about it, that he doesn't take that meeting. Because the fact of the matter is, if the situation was reversed, you know good and damn well that somebody from the Hillary Clinton campaign would have taken that meeting. They wouldn't have cared if it was from Russia, Istanbul, Turkey, Panama, Chile, anywhere. You know damn well that somebody from that campaign would have taken that meeting. So I think that this is probably a nothing burger. This is probably the idea that this shouldn't have happened in the first place. We can go there, but nothing came out of it.
But didn't they take the meeting about the Trump doing the golden showers with
Yes,
the prostitutes?
of
Did
course,
somebody take that
of
meeting?
course, and that was going to be Russian based too. You know, this whole Marsha, or Russia thing is, you know what? Trump has been really good about poking the bear.
Kicking him.
And the downside of that is that the bear is not asleep. The bear is not dead. And the bear will bite your ass.
Yeah.
And every time that bear gets a chance to bite, it's going to. So this keeps going. The only good part about all of this that Trump has been smart enough, for somebody in that White House has been smart enough to hire a lawyer to handle all the comments about this nonsense. And maybe able to even convince the president that maybe at 3 a.m. the thing to do is not get on Twitter. Maybe the thing to do is have a glass of water and pee and go back to bed.
That's
You know, he's a man of a certain age. I get it. That's what I do. The last thing I do is get up in the morning at 3 o'clock in the morning, grab my phone and go,
Yeah, let's tweet.
who do I hate now?
Who do I hate most?
Yeah, I'm going to be in there for a while. So, you know, so we got, so they hired a guy to handle all the communication on this, and that's probably the best thing to do. I know, but Trump supporters love that he pokes the bear.
Yeah.
They just think that's the best thing in the whole world, and I understand that, but it might not be the best thing when you're thinking long term and you're trying to get stuff done. This whole Russia thing, I don't think there's anything there. They've been investigating for more than a year. They really have found zero. It may be time to move for everybody to get back to work. It's definitely time for Congress to get back to work.
Oh yeah. Slackers.
If Republicans are upset, they ought to be upset with Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, because there isn't any reason that they can't move forward with an agenda because this is going on. There isn't any reason at all why they can't move forward. Nothing. There's no reason at all. Nothing is stopping Congress from doing their work. Zero.
Slackers.
Well, yeah. It's time for everybody just to get back to work.
Yeah.
So you know what, and I tell you, this is how little I care about this. This is the first time I commented on this all week, and you know that I do.
Yes.
I do 5 hours of internet broadcasting, actually 10 hours every week before I do this, and this is the first time I've commented on it at all because I don't care.
Well, we brought it up. So, see, because you do your own show, but since I brought it up, now you get.
I comment on it.
Can you call us on your show next time?
Yeah, when I have guests, I'll call this show. I'll call this show.
Introduce your guests and
let them
then
know.
tell us about, and then bring the guests on.
Oh yeah.
And give them a bad phone connection.
And I'll give them a Metro PCS phone. And it'll be
Flip phone.
Bad phone connection along with all the rest of it.
Well, that'll be next week, and y'all can tune in there. It's gonna be good stuff. You'll enjoy it. It'll be the best radio ever.
All right, now let's this is a conversation that we need to have, and this is something. It should be fun, and it's important to the area. It's important to the economy, and it's important. Let me say it like this: it should be important to black people. Because this is about the Tampa Classic, which is a football game. I know everybody say, well, it's football. It ain't important. Well, I'm telling you, it's important to black folks. Let me take this call, and then we'll go back to where we were. Caller, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. This is Eddie Adams, your host. What say you? Hello? Caller? All right. Okay, guess
Moving along.
Yeah, moving along. That bad connection thing is catching.
Metro PCS.
All right. Florida A&M University and the Tennessee State University will meet in Tampa for the FAMU Tampa Football Classic. This
Details.
This game is going to be on Saturday, September the 16th at 6 p.m. Now, I am doing this. Of course, it's going to be at Raymond James Stadium. I am doing this because I need you guys to realize that we are still, as a community, trying to recover from the loss of the Florida Classic, which went to Orlando. Now, it was the BCC, Bethune-Cookman University, and FAMU, which was a number of years ago. And the reason they moved it to Orlando, again, they didn't understand the economic impact it had on the businesses in this community. And so we've been trying to get a classic or a similar economic black impact event back in Tampa since that time. Hopefully I said that right. Got put enough of the words together and they make sense to some
Fairly
people.
well spoken.
Now, I'm going to tell you what makes economic impact in New Orleans. The Essence Festival. 500,000 black female, give or take 10% males who had to get them there. That being said, same opportunity. You got that many people show up on your doorstep, buying hotel, motels, buying food, looking for trinkets, souvenirs, gifts, and then they had the event. But this is the same deal because you won't have people coming in here Thursday night for the Saturday Classic. Some of them may stay over and go to church with some relatives on Sunday. So you literally talking about a potential 4-day event of however many hundreds of thousands. I'm saying thousands, I'm saying hundreds of thousands of folks showing up. And I'm telling you something else, something I used to notice before, because being in a fraternity, we used to have stuff. You got a bunch of people come to the event and don't go to the game. You got a bunch of folks who just want to come here to be close to the action. So I am telling you, I saw where they got $38 tickets. That's a couple of cases of beer, a wine, or whatever you drink. I don't drink any of it, but I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
A couple packs of cigarettes, because I found out a carton of cigarettes like $10, $20 some dollars.
Really?
Yeah,
Woo!
I mean, so more than that. Oh, see, I don't smoke.
Too much.
But what I'm saying is there's a vice you got up that you can kind of get a ticket and sacrifice for a week and show up and help participate in something that could be a monumental thing in the city. I'm just saying, the local folks, FAMU's in Tallahassee, so a bunch of those folks are going to come. Tennessee State is in Tennessee. A bunch of those folks are going to come. They all don't have relatives here. You can't pitch a tent in the backyard like you used to do. But I'm just saying, we got some new facilities here. We got the potential to make, and hopefully we got some folks out there who's going to make some kind of statistical analysis of the economic impact, because that's all folks want to listen to. They want to know what the economic impact was, so that when it comes back next year, they'll make it bigger or they'll make it smaller accordingly. Kind of like some of you people jobs do. Anyway, we got a caller on the line. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Caller, what say you?
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen. Wanted to say, Mr. Adams, I applaud you for this organization that you are doing in terms of organizing people to come out to the commission meeting on the 19th. I will definitely be there. I made it my business that I'm going to be there in support of the removal. But wanted to make a comment in terms of what you were referencing with the meeting with Don Jr.
Yes.
I definitely agree with your co-host Willie as far as I can't go there as well with the conspiracy theory as far as this being the Russian attorney was a plant and it was being used by the Democrats. The thing is that this is from, you listen to all of the experts in the intel community, this is what they do. They put out a bait, and then there's a willing participant, and Don Jr., along with Jared Kushner, along with Paul Manafort, they were all willing to get information from a foreign adversary. The thing is someone gave this example. They said, if someone called you and told you that there was going to be a kilo of cocaine, we're going to go and we're going to get a kilo of cocaine. And they called and said, we just need you to come and be there at the meeting. Would you go and be there at the meeting? No. Because remember, the thing is that even though they didn't get any information, quote unquote, they said they didn't get any information, the thing is that there is a thing called conspiracy. And if you are willing to be there while they're conspiring to do something illegal, even if it doesn't go all the way through, you still can get thrown in jail.
Well, let me ask you a question, because at this time, he was no different than me or you. I mean,
this is no
I'm going to say it like this. If somebody called me and said, I got some dirt on Hillary Clinton, and it may be astronomically good for you in the future, as to what you do with this information is up to you. I personally, Eddie Adams Jr., probably would have went to the meeting to figure out what the hell it was. I'm just saying. That's just me. I'm curious like that.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but you also you're also an intelligent person. And you're going to be wise as to, like, you know what, the source, where it's coming from. You're going to ask those questions. And the thing is that when you're talking about a foreign adversary, that for one, at that time, the information was coming out that they were trying to do some sort of meddling. And they were also talking about that the Russians need to, cut it out. But the thing is that if this was an isolated incident, then you know what, I could kind of go there with you. But the thing is that they said later on, you had Jared Kushner trying to set up a back channel, remember, at the Russian embassy, so that they can have communication, so that they can bypass the NSA. That means that, you know what, you have something to hide. And it's just like when you talk to your children, if you ask your child, tell me the truth. Now, if your child gives you part of the truth, is what they say, is it a lie of omission or is it a lie of commission? And the thing is, Don Jr. said he was totally transparent, which he wasn't. He said that the conversation or the discussion was because of because of adoption. No, it wasn't. He basically showed in the email chain basically what the main focus of the meeting was about. So if you are giving me parts of the truth, or you're trying to manipulate, quote unquote, the facts, I'm going to look at it like, you know what? I'm not going to believe anything that you have to say because he destroyed his integrity.
I think Willie.
That's all I got to say.
You may be, we don't necessarily disagree on a lot of points, but the nut of it is that there isn't any illegal behavior going on. You can get information from anywhere you want. Yes, we are. I mean, you called Russia adversaries, but they're not any more an adversary than China is, because right now we're not at war with Russia. We're not at war with China. So adversary is a hyperbolic term. The Cold War has been over for a number of years. This is an information source that, you know what, again, I'm not excusing Don Jr. I'm not excusing all this. And again, it's the first time all week I've commented about it because it just makes me eye roll when I think about any of it. The fact of the matter is you can't look at all this and talk about all this through the lenses of dislike for Donald Trump, and a lot of people are. A lot of people can't back up for a while and see the whole thing as being, this is sort of our crappy, awful political nonsense that we all have to deal with on both sides of the aisle. I can, like I said, I tell people all the time, there were 3 votes for Republicans in my house in the Florida primary. Not one of them was for Donald Trump. 2 of them were for Marco Rubio, and 1 of them was for Ted Cruz. My son's a lot more hardcore than I am. I'm just telling you. He's part of that Generation Z, which is a right after the millennials, or right in the middle of the millennials that are more conservative than their parents because they are rebelling against us.
Yeah.
and that's something that media doesn't talk about. So
they're rebelling to the right.
Well, yeah, they are, because being conservative on a college campus is now the counterculture.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's the counterculture. Your parents are progressive. Your teachers are progressive. Your politicians are progressive. So the counterculture now is to be conservative. And so that's the story that nobody's telling, because if people tell that story, then we can actually be reasonable to one another. But we're not interested in that. We're interested in winning our points. Like I said against Republicans forever, they're more interested in winning the argument than winning elections.
And this is the other thing too, and this is to the caller. We are going to be concerned about Trump Jr. taking a call, having a meeting with a Russian spy, but we weren't concerned when Hillary Clinton took uranium that was belonged to the country and sold it to the Russians and gave the profits to her foundation. I'm just saying. I mean, we find pick and choose stuff that we're gonna be upset about.
We cherry pick, don't we? Depending on who we like and who we don't like.
She was Secretary of State, cut this deal, and somehow the Clinton crime family profited from the process. So again, I take all this stuff until they come up with something and come up with an indictment on somebody because something they did was actually criminal, and somebody can go to jail for it, other than getting slapped on the hand or getting you said some bad word or something. I'm just looking at the action. It's a bunch. I worked in the hospital for 20 years. I'm going to tell you something. You got some people who was constantly ripping and running and always doing stuff, but at the end of the day, they were not doing anything. They were just making a lot of motion. So people, oh man, they're so busy. Oh they're movement, and you see it. But at the end of the day, when you count up the numbers, you did the statistics behind their actions, they didn't do no more than anybody else. They just look. It's like okay, I was a cardiopulmonary technician. I'm not gonna pick up the broom and sweep the lab so I can look like I was doing something when the boss walked in. They got staff. They got janitors. They got people who, it was their job to sweep the lab, clean the lab, empty the trash. I'm not going to do that because there's nothing for me to do this moment. I need to look busy. And that's what we got going on. We got a lot of people trying to look busy, but they ain't doing nothing.
Well, yeah, and we have to understand that all of this is colored by the lens of people don't like Donald Trump. So anything that Donald Trump does, we got to fight against because we don't want to normalize Donald Trump. And that's, you know what, and if you're going to be honest, that's at the core of a lot of it. And the only way that we can have this conversation is that we have to be honest about it. That is at the core of all of it. Yeah, the football game. Go to the football game. It's on September 16th. It's a time to have another sort of Florida Classic moment, but I think that we are in a much better space in this community than we were at the end of the Florida Classic for all sorts of reasons. So go to the Tampa Classic on September 16th.
Go get involved. Go get involved. Get off the couch. Get off the couch. Get off the couch. There's a subliminal message in there. Get off the couch.
All right, so on the 19th, I expect to see my friends. I expect to see my groups of friends.
There you go.
And I see some of these organizations. Just pick this event on the 19th. Show up in numbers, even if you don't speak. Show up, because that's where the message is. 9 o'clock, County Commissioner Chambers, downtown Tampa. See you then. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
God bless.